Well, let me call Mary. So it's recording. We're just gonna.
Okay. We're just gonna shoot from the hip.
Yeah, shoot from the hip. You know, like they've always said. I'm gonna call Mary really fast and make sure it's
Okay.
she's back almost.
It's what's Zach doing?
Everybody said they're gonna be here around noon, so it's about 20. Like I didn't think you were gonna be here for another like 30 minutes. So I'm happy you're here though. So, I really did want to, before we put these cameras on, I wanted to ask you a couple of things.
Okay.
Hold on. I guess, does that music sound too intrusive?
I mean, we'll find out. It's not bugging me at all.
All right, I guess we'll just keep it then. I don't mind it. You know, it might just shut off like halfway because this thing might die. You know what I honestly, what I was thinking about though the other day, I was thinking about it at work. How you quote Forrest Gump a lot.
You know, I was thinking of quotes of Forrest Gump on the way here.
And really, it's wild, and I didn't realize how much influence that movie had on our lives. I actually compiled a list. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Not a Forrest Gump quotes, because I was thinking like, well, so many good movies came out, and like we were so fucking babied in the 90s.
Yeah.
Baby. All right, get this. You ready? So just to name a few movies that came out in 1994. Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber. With the plethora of others. Those are just the ones that I grabbed.
Which movie have you seen the least out of all those?
Probably Pulp. Maybe Pulp. I've seen a lot of these. A lot. I don't know.
I would have to say Ace Ventura is probably the one I've seen the least.
Really?
Not that I haven't seen a lot, but like Pulp Fiction, you know, I've probably seen over a dozen times.
I mean, Shawshank Redemption was basically on repeat for.
Right.
You know.
I think I watched it once a day for like 2 months.
Right. So and real quick. So 1994, a lot was happening. We didn't realize it. Listen to this. So music albums that came out in this, I just grabbed a couple. The Beastie Boys' Ill Communication album came out. Green Day's Dookie. Pearl Jam's Vitology. The Cranberries' No Need to Argue. Nas' Illmatics, and Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die. That all came out in 1994.
Yeah, I was 12.
Can you believe it? I mean, we're just on the cusp of becoming teenagers. You know, that was
right.
That must have been.
It was pretty influential.
Yeah.
I mean, we were coming in. Our brains were developing.
Well, we're certainly like we were figuring out who exactly we were.
Starting to get boners a lot, you know.
And I got this. So, events. This all happened in 1994. I just grabbed 3 events just off the internet. Nancy Kerrigan was attacked. Remember when that bitch ran up behind her and broke her leg? Those ice skaters?
No.
You don't remember that? Nancy Kerrigan and there was another.
I didn't really, I watched more movies than news and shit. Like, I didn't know much about the news. We were poor.
Well,
we didn't have TV. We just rented movies.
You remember Bill Clinton? Bill Clinton was accused of sexual harassment and the O.J. Simpson.
Well, yes.
All right.
We watched O.J. Simpson trial in school. Yeah.
All right, man. We're doing it.
Yeah.
I was like we were discussing earlier. Let me make sure I can hear everything. Yeah, like we were discussing earlier, I was talking about 1994. What a crazy fucking year! I mean, it really was insane. I wanted to read off a list of movies because we were talking about how you're always quoting Forrest Gump. I mean, ever since I've known you. Well, not ever since I've known you, but for a long time you've been quoting Forrest Gump.
It's, you know, pretty good movie.
I mean, I wonder how many awards that won.
Oh, they're still winning awards, I think, for it.
Are they?
I don't know.
Yeah, and it felt like it was the only movie. Because remember, after it came out, it felt like it was on TV. It was everywhere.
Well, like you know, we had a television. We didn't have like cable.
Yeah.
So my dad would buy buy movies
Right.
and we just
Watch that.
watch over and
Whatever.
over. And I never got bored of it, really,
Yeah.
unless the movie was total shit, and then
Then you just pass out,
just like, all right, I seen that was a waste of 2 hours. I won't let that happen again.
Well, and I was talking to somebody at work about this. So you remember when we were kids, like now our children, if they all go to their individual rooms and watch their individual things. And like when we were younger, we had one TV in the living room, and you just watched whatever the fuck was on. Like there wasn't a.
Sometimes it was just static.
Somebody's staring at.
Move those bunny ears a little bit.
I wanted to read off the list of movies that came out in 1994. And this, I mean, there was, when I Googled it, there's a plethora of them, but I just wanted to list a few. So, Forrest Gump, Pulp Fiction, Shawshank Redemption, Ace Ventura, and Dumb and Dumber. And you had mentioned the last time we talked about this that Ace Ventura was a movie you'd seen the least.
Right, and it's probably still, more than most people could stand. But like, when I say I didn't watch a movie that much,
Right.
I mean, we're gonna compare it to like how many times have I seen Braveheart?
Oh yeah,
Braveheart,
yeah.
Like,
That's
and my wife, she cringes every time I mention the movie.
Rachel doesn't like Braveheart?
I don't know if she's actually ever sat down and watched the full thing because it's on. Like every time I see it, I can't pass.
Right.
I can't pass.
Yeah, if I'm
Whatever
scrolling
else is going on in television land, stop.
Doesn't
Braveheart.
Super Bowl, World Series,
Yeah.
it don't fucking matter. No, Braveheart's phenomenal, and it's so fucking long. That movie's long.
It's a really long. I've wasted a lot of time watching that movie. A lot of time. Probably a year's worth of time.
No, sure, yeah. If you were to accumulate, if you were to, maybe when you die.
If I was getting paid to watch it, I'd probably have a fat
You'd
check.
be the CEO.
I'd be a fat check.
So okay.
I would have got paid more than Mel Gibson to do that movie.
Just to watch that shit. Also, so 1994 was happening. And how old were you? You said 12?
Yeah, 12.
God damn. I mean, like, just becoming, like, just on the cusp of 13. We were just figuring out who we were, I felt like,
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
So, I also wanted to list some musical albums came out. So, the Beastie Boys' Ill Communication album came out in 1994. Green Day, Dookie, Pearl Jam, Vitology, the Cranberries, No Need to Argue, Nas, Illmatic, and Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die. I mean, dude, it's unbelievable to think that all that happened in 1994. I mean, and it was just, I don't know, man. It just seems like we're pretty spoiled.
Yeah, well, and this also comes just a couple years after, the riots in California.
So much was happening.
Like, so our take on R&B and rap, all from that,
right. There was so and then like Tupac was rapping, there was a lot, and then so many years later, you remember Sublime came out and made a song about it. I mean, it's crazy to think that the 90s.
Right.
The 90s. You think about the 90s. Think about so like 1990. Were you in Miss Shumway's class in 1990?
Yes.
Yeah, that's right. So we're in the same. But who else? What other elite Saffordites? Was that RJ? Was in Josh Mitchell? Shout out to Josh.
Was RJ in there?
Yeah, I want to say. And I don't think Robert Moore moved to town until the following year in third grade. But
are we allowed to say last names?
Oh shit! Yeah, Robert.
We'll edit it some shit maybe.
Yeah, not Miss
Or not.
Not Miss Shumway.
We don't want to
We'll
have
just call her
to get
Shumway.
any waivers or.
Old Shumway.
I don't think Miss Shumway's around. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that's a horrible thought.
Anyhow.
All right.
Yeah, continue.
So, so think about 1990. So in 1990, we were in Miss Shumway's class up till 2000.
This tastes like shit. Sorry.
I didn't buy it for you. Bought that yourself. You brought that.
No, it's out of your fridge. I was like, I'm just gonna try that.
That's got to be Zach's stash then. That's, what was I going to tell you? Oh, so I mean, think about from 1990 to 2000. Just you think about all the shit that happened in that one. I mean, think about all the things that what was something that crossed. Oh, Vanilla Ice rapping with Ninja Turtles. You gotta
Turtle
think
power.
About Turtle Power. Bebop and Rocksteady breakdancing with Vanilla Ice.
Ninja Turtles were very, very popular. Like,
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe it was just me because I was a kid, but I mean, did the adults see the influence that the Ninja Turtles had on?
I don't know.
On the kids.
I mean, I feel like I worship them in a way, you know.
Right.
But think about and then the downside to the '90s that no one really talks about was in the late '90s. That's whenever we had all that 98 Degrees and NSYNC. Well, Britney Spears was coming out around that time. Now, Eminem, was that also in the '90s or was that 2000? Do you remember by any chance?
It was late '90s.
Eminem was out in the late '90s.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. You know what? You're gonna have to do a lot of fact checking.
I'm gonna look right now. What? So.
Well, you think about it. So,
Eminem.
all right. So Scott, he was born in '99.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure Eminem.
God, that's.
I don't know.
Let's see. I'm gonna tell you right now. Eminem's first album, the Slim Shady LP, came out in 1999. So just made it. But that's still in the '90s.
Yeah, I'm pretty on point with my time periods.
No,
today.
yeah, you are. You're killing it. But that's still in the '90s. I mean, it just covered. I mean, the Wu-Tang Clan came out in the '90s.
Yeah, they were like what 97.
I don't know, but they were in the '90s for sure.
Yeah.
I remember getting ready for school in middle school, getting ready. And remember MTV used the Dave Matthews Band, another great musical act. That's the '90s.
You know how many bands did you discover, and then like for the first time, and then you find out that this is their 7th album.
Yeah,
you
right.
know?
No,
Like,
that happens all the time.
like
right?
it's like, whoa, they've been around for 12 years before I discovered them. You know?
Yeah, I mean, it happens a lot. But
Yeah.
but there's the '90s. There were so many good bands that came out. I mean, it's just unreal.
Yeah, I don't think there'll ever be
No, we'll never recreate
another
the 90s.
decade
No.
like it.
Even the '80s. The '80s was pretty cool, I guess, to some capacity.
I mean,
Star Wars.
They
came
had
out.
they had their own sound, you know.
Sure,
Yeah.
but they didn't have we had you think about we covered everything from Nirvana to the Wu-Tang Clan, Sublime, and everything in between. I mean that's a spectrum of influence. But you know what it also feels like? It feels like it was the sum of everything that was before. Like you think about the '80s, the '70s, the '60s. Think about all this great musical. So in the '90s, it all came to a head. It was all these influences making all this really great music, and then in 2000, boom, it just stopped. Dude, nothing good has happened.
Very little happened in the 2000s. I mean, what you had Dre come out with a good album,
but that was like a reintroduction album.
Right.
So 2000
right.
was the Chronic 2000. I mean, I would say what.
All I have to say is I think you're living in the past.
No, I certainly am.
You need to wake up.
Dude, hold on one second. Something just beeped, and I need to find out what it was.
It's all
Wait, here it is. No, it's nothing. Don't worry about it. We're back on it.
was that an email?
No.
Do you need to check that?
I wonder how many emails I ignore. Because I'm not an email guy. What do I need an email for, really?
Actually, if you want, these are yours, man. I actually got some rum in the car.
3,276 unread emails. And I have no intention of reading.
That's pretty irresponsible, really.
So is drinking on a
Who gives
podcast.
a fuck?
But,
Hey, it worked for some people.
Cheers.
No,
Hey.
like drinking.
To Dylan.
Cuervo.
I told myself that I was going to take a shot of that before I did the recording.
Hey, you're gonna need an ashtray.
Oh, dude, me and Zach. So,
I've got that big piston.
So Zach did, dude. You should have. I wish you could have been here last week. Zach did. He just killed it. Ooh.
We need to stain it.
Yeah, there's a lot we gotta do.
I'll stain it.
So, now, real quick, before we go any further, I did want to bring something up. About you, one of my favorite things is that your introduction into the world is probably the craziest, like one of the gnarliest.
Oh,
you
just my being born.
yeah, it's wild. So am I?
And who knows how much of a fairy tale that is? But that's what I was told.
No, I mean certainly it adds up.
I mean it's.
So let's
It's not far fetched, really.
So you were born in a trailer park.
Yeah, in North Vegas.
In North Vegas.
At the time, and we're talking 82.
So
you know?
who knows where?
So all there was from in '82, there was a strip, which the old strip, it was Fremont, and then a trailer park, pretty much at the end of the strip, and that's where all the employees lived that ran Vegas, you know, like, and so
that's funny as hell. So you were born in that trailer park in Las Vegas on Halloween.
Right. Wow. Yes, it was right before 8 p.m. and I was actually born. So my grandmother, it was there. My mother was there. My dad, and then my grandma's partner. She was a what are they called?
I'm thinking like a nurse.
Yeah.
There's a name for it.
I'd like to say wet nurse, but I think that's like for animals. I don't know.
I'm trying. No, there's a.
Right.
We're missing the term.
Anyhow.
But you're born in a bathtub.
Yes. Yeah. So I was a water birth. It kind of seems like maybe it was ceremonial because being a Scorpio born on Halloween. Scorpios are like.
I know nothing about it.
It's the water. Yeah.
A lot years ahead of me.
Anywho, so I'm born in a bathtub, full of water.
Sure.
And just a little bit more water rose when I was born, but came out squeaky clean. There was actually during this process of my introduction to this world, there was trick-or-treaters banging on the door in a trailer park. Of course. What do you want? The umbilical cord? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a wild. And it explains a lot, man. It does. It explains. Like there'll be times like you'll have me in some situation publicly, and I think to myself like, well, he was born in a trailer park.
Original trailer park boy.
The original.
The original.
So you peaked early then. That's a lot of exciting shit. I mean,
I guess
that's a lot. I mean, that's a lot to talk about in itself. You're born in a trailer park, in a bathtub.
Right, dude. I can, if I were to write a book of all the events that happened in my life.
It'd be gnarly. I mean,
it would be longer than the Bible.
Sure. Are we allowed?
A lot.
Are we allowed to talk about your prison time?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. So in what year did you go to prison?
Let's see.
What did you go for?
It would have to be 2000.
2000?
Yeah.
So the 90s ended and 2000 ushered in.
Right. It's like, I'm here. The music sucks now, so I'm going to prison. So I was living in a small town.
Okay. Is this in Nevada?
Yes. This was in the middle of Nevada. This was in Tonopah.
Okay.
Right. And so I was doing a drug run from Vegas. It's a 4-hour drive, and I'm in this shit car. It's a 77 Toyota 4-speed, dude. Imagine how loud a 77 Toyota 4-speed is going 85 down the Nevada desert. It's loud.
I could only imagine. And so you're supposed to be under the radar, quietly transporting drugs.
Right, got a tail light out. That's what did me in. I had a tail light out.
In retrospect, do you feel like maybe you deserve prison time?
Oh, hell yes. I mean, that was very irresponsible of a drug smuggler to, not check his car. Right. Not even have a good car transportation. What if I didn't make it?
And you're just stuck on the side of the road with a
bunch
of drugs.
With a bunch of drugs.
Certainly, that could
Then I'd probably use them all, get dehydrated, and die.
No.
In the desert.
Can we ask about what kind of drugs they were? Or is that...
It was methamphetamines. Yes. Yeah. Well,
No,
everybody's got a past.
Sure.
You know?
No, it's fine. Yeah. Lord forbid if anybody knew all of mine, I'd be up Schitt's Creek.
Yeah, you're not gonna find out all of mine.
Maybe. I wanted to ask. Have you ever smoked meth?
Oh yeah.
Have you really?
I used to eat that shit.
You can eat meth. I don't know what meth looks like.
Dude, if you could just, it's like any drug. You consume it anyway. You could put it in any orifice.
Really?
Your skin, just holding it.
Well, what does meth look
It'll
like?
absorb into your skin,
Really?
and you'll actually.
So if I held meth in my hand, could I get methed out?
It's probably the most dangerous drug that way. You know, especially for like having children around. Like,
Sure. Oh,
dude,
do you remember when we
seriously.
found that bag of meth in that hotel room?
Well, I wasn't there, but
Oh no.
you know, I didn't go to that trip. The wife was there with you.
And Mary and
Yeah.
Zach.
What? Were my kids there?
Zach was there. We went to go see Social Distortion, and we came home from the show.
Yeah, I saw that, and man, I was like,
Did it bring
man,
back-
that was $300 worth of meth.
Was that about $300?
Oh yeah.
See, and I guess I have seen meth before because I was carrying a giant bag of
Dude,
it.
that was huge.
Yeah, goodness.
You put it up to a credit card, it was, the size of the bag was like the credit card, and it was half full.
Yeah, and I wondered like what's the backstory? I mean, did we get somebody killed or at least beat up at the very least? I imagine if somebody lost that meth.
Ah, people lose meth all the time.
Do they?
Oh yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I was truly concerned that maybe, it was, I don't know.
Yes.
My mind was going, it was going in the direction of.
Guarantee you, it's probably one of the ladies that cleaned up the room.
That's
one
what
of
I
the
was.
maids.
That's what I was thinking too. Maybe somebody's knocking on the outside. Of
You know what? Should we call the cops right now?
Let's call the cops. We're talking.
We're calling the cops.
And anyways, I wanted to ask about that. I've never really asked you if you've ever smoked meth in all these years we've been friends.
I've never shot. I've never used a needle. Never. I hate fucking needles. Hate them. I've known plenty of people that have, and I mean, you just look at instantly after they use a needle, dude. They're done.
Yeah, it
They're
seems
d-
like it's just like one of those things that nobody really ever comes back from.
Nah. Very few people. There are people that do.
Sure, I just
In any case, there are people that overcome.
right.
That was, I mean, I needed to be locked up to get away from that shit.
And well, thank God you did. All right, tell him to come inside. There's Casey. Casey made the cut. I always wanted to ask you that, and I don't know if this. I mean, why not ask you recorded live? Not we're not live, but what was the other thing I wanted to ask you? You ever smoked?
Well,
meth?
so I did go to prison.
Okay. And what was how long were you in prison?
Well, I'll tell you. So whole lockup time was about 8 months.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't bad because I was so young,
Right.
and actually, so I guess the judge assigned to me, or me assigned to. I don't know how that works. Somebody's assigned to somebody, but my judge.
Right.
Like, we're talking small town judge. My family's been in that area, you know, for probably 80 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I didn't know
so,
that.
yeah, you know, I got a lot of history in Nevada with my family.
Right.
Anyhow, the judge ends up, he was in the Air Force with my grandfather.
Wow.
And, I mean, he spoke, I only knew this because my father told me so. And that landed me.
Would that explain your father's obsession with airplanes?
Well, I'm sure. I'm sure.
Yeah, I remember
He's never been close to his father, and I can tell that pains him.
Oh, okay.
You know.
I just remember we were talking about that airplane that crashed during World War II out in Bassett Peak. Out
Oh
there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
He knew exactly what airplane. He knew exactly like it was.
Yeah, he's studied.
Anyhow,
like,
sorry, go on. I just was curious if that had any role.
Are you gonna interrupt me all the time?
All the time. Sorry. I love you last time.
All right.
Unless,
No, won't.
unless. All right, go on.
So anyway, so the judge. So there's this boot camp program they've been doing for about 10 years at the time. They're in Nevada High Desert State Prison.
Okay.
Okay, and this boot camp program was a 6-month program.
Okay.
All right, and every 2 weeks they get a new batch of guys to introduce to the boot camp program, and which sounds pretty cool,
No, it sounds horrible.
but you don't get to fuck with guns, so
it's
it
everything.
sucks.
Yeah.
So it's all the discipline, no fun.
It's not fun at all.
Yeah, I'll tell you what though.
And that, so I know it gets so cold in Nevada. So like,
Actually, they call it High Desert State Prison, but it's right outside of Vegas. It's actually close to Death Valley. Okay. It's the hottest place in Nevada that people can survive.
Sure.
You know, like that
It's
they
habitable.
live. Right.
Barely.
Right. All that's there is a prison. It's a pretty dick move, really.
No, I mean, what? No, it's not.
Yeah, fuck them, huh? They're criminals.
Well, no, not saying fuck all of them, but I mean, like, listen, if
Right.
if somebody's incarcerated by due process,
Right.
somebody's incarcerated by due process, and they've proven that they can't, for now, be in society, I don't want them across the street.
Right. Hey, I'm with you.
But I will say that, like, I don't know.
I mean, I've been on the straight and narrow since I got well.
Oh, no.
Well, I haven't got caught. I learned how to stay out of jail.
Well, yeah, I mean, since I've known you, since I've been home, I mean, when I say home, I guess since I've been back from Texas, I guess I've not seen you in any trouble with the law or anything.
Right. I drive the speed limit.
Yeah.
I mean, it sucks, but
Yeah,
I mean, what am I going to say? 2 minutes, you know?
You know, I was in jail. Well, actually, when I came back from Oregon, just for a brief stint, I was working for Graham County, like the jail. And
Right.
It was a weird time. It was a weird time because when I had
It was weird for me when you started doing that.
No,
I'm going to
I mean-
interrupt you for a second. I was like, well,
it really goes against almost.
what if I do get thrown?
Well, that's the thing is that whenever so I got hired on, it was a really weird process. You know, my uniform, I'm putting on my uniform. Everything about it felt wrong. Everything. When I said nothing about it felt right, but I needed to work. And I really wasn't ready to go back to the ambulance.
So you felt kind of like out of place, like a nerd in fucking second grade.
It's
you know?
exactly how I felt.
Yeah.
But when they initially they were giving me a tour, they're taking me from pod to pod.
Not that I know what that feels like.
No, I mean you're the coolest guy ever in second grade, with your dad's Led Zeppelin T-shirt on. But now, so when they're taking me from pod to pod,
Led Zeppelin's pretty cool.
no, they're a really good band. No,
Fuck you.
I'm not. But I do remember you wearing that very old. It was basically transparent.
Dude, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Can you
It was
imagine
so
how much-
holy.
Can
Dude,
you
like,
imagine how much that thing's worth now? I mean,
I do regret losing that. I don't know. I think Rachel threw it away.
I had a Metallica shirt the same way.
Yeah.
And it, if Vanessa, if you're listening to this,
It wasn't ripped.
Sorry.
It was just, so worn.
yeah.
It was like my underwear on a camping trip.
Oh, remember?
Anyway,
Hold
go
Yeah.
on.
So
That's another story.
They're taking me from pod to pod, right? And they're like, so pod A, we'll say, I don't even know what.
Right.
They open up.
I know what pods are.
They open up this pod, and everybody, I mean, not everybody, but it was like a chorus. Levi, because in jail, the correctional officers, everybody calls you by your last name. But
Right.
all these inmates, or whoever,
Right.
detainees, they all knew me. First name
Right.
basis, Levi!
Right.
And they were, the guy that was training me said, well, how do they know you? And I said, that's my nephew. I was in a punk band with that guy. I've been in a bar fight alongside that guy.
Hi, Cody.
Yeah, so I'm glad that it didn't last very long. And I remember actually an inmate or a detainee approaching me saying, Sanchez, this isn't for you, man. You know, and I said, I know, man. Trust me. I'm just waiting for the mine to call me, and I'm out of here. And once the mine called me, this is like one of the most irresponsible things I've ever done. I never even went back.
You didn't even give them 2 weeks.
Nothing.
Nah.
I couldn't do one more day of it.
I'm sure they didn't pay that much.
No, it's horrible, and it's a rotating door of people that do this. I guess it's not a very desirable position, for good reason. It's such a small town. You know, you're when you're doing your round,
Right.
you're just
you're gonna run into your own kind
all day long.
Yeah.
It was a rough go. I forgot why we were talking. What brought this up? Jail. Prison. I guess.
You work. Oh, something about something.
that's the conclusion of that story. There's nothing more to it.
And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. This was our first episode. I hope we did well. Any complaints, you can dial. Do we have a 1-800 number yet?
This whole no.
Oh, okay. All right.
The whole reason this first episode, I actually wanted to tell the story about the bar fight. So I would like to
maybe we could just continue on to 2 episodes today. We could do 2. Like we could roll.
Forever.
Dude, you know.
I mean, you think about. I mean, I know we can't tell every story in one episode.
No.
But I did that story specifically. I wanted to talk about.
It would be the song that never ends.
90s.
Yeah.
90s. Another hit.
I didn't really like it, but the song was catchy.
It certainly got
and annoying, and I annoyed my parents plenty with that
and
song.
School teachers, these poor teachers.
Oh yeah.
So Mr. Moreno is now Bobby's principal.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Specifically remembers me and you.
Oh, I know
Josh,
he knows me.
Ty, the whole gang. I mean, everybody.
He's still got, from what I hear, he still has like my weaponry. He compensates.
Remember the last day of school in middle school.
I was not involved.
Yeah, you were.
No.
Yeah. Dude, everybody. Yeah, we all took. Dude, how are you gonna tell me? I watched you do it in Mr. Smith's PE class. I watched.
Oh, I thought you were talking about smashing.
No. I'm talking about pulling the fire alarms one by one.
Yeah, I got caught.
Did you get caught?
No, well, somebody ratted me out.
I mean, they knew who it was from the jump. They weren't like scratching
They're like,
their heads.
you were the first ones running from the.
Yeah, they knew exactly.
I was like, well, I didn't pull that one.
They knew.
I pulled the second one.
I remember.
It's like, ha!
But
you did not catch me.
Wait, why are we talking? How do we keep on going back to middle school?
Fuck, because you said Bobby.
Mr. Moreno.
Yeah.
Is also. I wanted to tell the story about the bar fight, man. I mean, that's one of the craziest situations.
It's coming. If we start right now, it's gonna be.
Well, I just don't want to lose sight of it because it's. I mean, the title of this episode is the craziest bar fight I was never in.
Oh, so we just started.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about we take a 5?
No, we're gonna go straight through. This is like a Pink Floyd album. We're just gonna keep going.
All right.
So what?
I guess nobody else that is coming was involved. So it was just you and I.
No, it wasn't.
And
Smith.
Well, yeah, but that's
Chicho?
here.
Oh, right.
That's here.
But so I guess
I'm gonna smoke a cigarette.
Do what you gotta do. So I was just gonna start.
I hope you don't mind. I get your camping equipment all smoked out.
Oh, dude, I'm sure there's been plenty of
all
cigarettes
smoked out.
Yeah.
That's camping equipment.
You're right. But you know what? You're right. Let's not tell this. I mean,
no. Let's do it.
No, but you know what? But I also want to say maybe you're talking about. I really want to tell a story about the time that we found you drunk underneath that tree. And remember, so Rachel.
Which tree and which time? There's a lot of trees out there, man.
Aravaipa Canyon.
No.
Aravaipa Canyon. We found. Remember, it was the first night of the second.
Is that when I got kicked back out?
Yeah.
Of the tent?
Of the tent. But
yeah. Let's do it.
So Jason's married to a saint of a woman named Rachel, who I promise, in heaven, the Lord has carved out a special place for Rachel Truesdale. Because she's had to be married, dude. Can you, she's been married to you. How long have you guys been married? It's been a
long. Well, really, if you count it all, it's like 22 years.
Because you guys got married when we were kids, and then you separated and you got married again.
Right.
Yeah, but
But after the separation, like after the first divorce, it was only like 6 months.
See, okay.
That we stayed apart.
So,
and then we shacked back up. Didn't get married again for a couple more years because we wanted to make sure we were only gonna fuck each other's lives up.
Well, so you're married. So you guys have been together 23 years.
Yeah.
All together. That's a long time,
yes,
man.
Sir.
That's a long. So, in those 23 years, Rachel. No, I wouldn't say all. Yeah, the 23 years she's been with you, you've been inebriated for the most part. I mean, it's not.
Right.
It's not like 24 hours.
I'll tell you. After prison, I was actually sober till. we're going off course again.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was sober for about 2 years after prison.
So 21 years.
Well, after prison, yeah. So 21 years of
21 years.
inebriation of any kind.
Right. Well, I remember she found an algorithm to camping with us properly, and that is wherever the fire's based, move your tent.
Get the fuck away from it.
Yeah.
Far.
Take your tent as far as away, where you're still in proximity. Should anything pop off, you're still in safety, but far enough away that she doesn't have to listen. But I remember that night she took her tent extra far, and you were like, and so,
oh yeah, Air Viper, yeah.
And so that night,
it was just flat. It was just a good flat spot.
Where her tent was?
Yeah.
No, man.
It was
far.
It was actually at an angle because I remember.
So she specifically told me why she went that far, and it was because when she seen the registry list of party goers that were going to be at this camping trip, she knew from the jump there's no way. I mean, think about it. Jordan was there, Patrick, Dylan.
Oh yeah, Jordan.
Nate. Dude, you're talking like it was a wild bunch.
And then that's when we were introduced to Richard that you knew.
Oh, that's right.
Lived across the place where I live now.
Yeah,
it's pretty cool.
That guy showed up. I forgot about that completely. But anyhow, Rachel knew that it was going to get loud. So she took her tent as far away as possible. And at the end of the night, she was right. She was spot on because we drank heavily into the night.
I don't even know why she goes to those things.
Because she loves you. She wants to be around people. But she did the right thing. And so me and Dylan, we were walking along in the woods, and we found you. And you're laying face down in the grass. I mean, passed out. You were like moaning, and I remember it was like a cow.
I was face down. That's a good sign.
Yeah, well, we knew this wasn't good. So we knew we had to get you to your tent, which was Rachel's tent. So
I was face down. Leave me alone.
Well, somewhere,
all right,
somewhere in somebody's mind, it all of a sudden felt like an emergency situation.
Right. You guys were heroes.
Oh, that night we were heroes. Yeah, we did our thing. You're
all singing hero songs after dropping me off.
Well, we picked, each one of us grabbed a limb. So Patrick had a hand, I had a hand, Zach had a foot, and Dylan had a foot. So we were dragging you belly down. So
I bet I was heavy.
Dude, it looked so painful. But we knew we had to get you, and it really didn't look like we were rescuing anybody. More than we were just like taking a war criminal to like a shower.
We gotta hide him. Hide the body.
We drug you all the way to the tent, and I remember unzipping it and like heave-hoeing you into that thing, right? Bam. I would get you in there, and we all walk away, patting ourselves on the back. And what a good job we've just done, saving our friend,
real hero,
from the grips of the woods back in your tent. And I'll never forget the next morning waking up with a horrible hangover, and my mosquito. You know who I shared a tent with that night was old Rob.
Rob?
Yeah, Rob was there too.
Yeah, but you shared a tent with Rob.
For some reason, me and Rob are always sharing tents.
You guys actually hit it off, huh?
Yeah, me and Rob. In fact, I look back on it, and any camping trip that Mary doesn't go on, I end up in a tent with Rob. It's just the way it slants every time.
It makes sense.
But
both my bitches. No, just kidding.
but the mosquito netting was closed, and I remember waking up and Rachel glaring. I mean, she's laser beams into my forehead.
Just standing there,
not even making a noise. And I knew, like, I fucked up because she said you can be a real asshole sometimes. You know that, Levi? I thought I did the right thing. So I left the tent, and I went and sat by the fire because it was still pretty chilly out. This was like April, so it was still we were in the shadows.
Yeah, it was nice camping weather.
Yeah, perfect. We're in the shadows of that canyon, and I got I sat down next to the fire, and I said, "Rachel, is everything all right?" She said, "No." You know what happened last night?
She goes off.
Oh yeah, she told me in detail what happened. As soon as we threw you in there, I guess, being the romantic you are, you tried to make love to your wife, fell short, passed out, pissed everywhere, and vomited all over her bed. She was not happy.
Hearsay.
No, it was Rachel. Rachel was very, very much.
I believe that morning when I did come to, she's like, "You're cleaning this up." I'm like, so I just threw everything outside of the tent. Done.
Problem solved. You know, and that's why, honestly, she qualifies for sainthood. Not very many people could put up with it, and I just
see. And then I got all the shit for it.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know? Oh yeah. Hey, it's all my fault. Hey, I did not pass out in the tent. Okay, I passed out outside, away from her. I knew.
You knew what was gonna happen.
Yeah, like even in my drunken stoop, I knew not to fucking sleep with my wife.
We made you sleep with
You
her.
guys should have cleaned that tent.
I mean,
Maybe.
maybe. I mean,
Maybe.
looking back on it, it probably would have been helpful because Rachel's demeanor for the rest of the trip, as much fun as she was having, it didn't marinate.
No. She could never get back to, the
full party.
Yeah, right.
And that was also the same camping trip where I pulled all your clothes off. Well, it was like middle of the day, remember? And you were sitting there, and I seen there was holes in your underwear.
Was that? Oh, you
I disarmed.
First of all, you stripped my shorts, but I had underwear on.
Right. I disarmed you with laughter. You couldn't move because you were laughing too hard.
Right.
So I tried to rip your underwear off, but everything but the band came up. So
Right.
you just around your belly, you had that plastic band
Right.
and nothing else on.
Right, and you're like, how? Like, because my chones just like disintegrated as you pulled them away, just like they were so frail, like they were sitting out in the sun
Well,
for
they must
20 years.
Honestly, I thought, man, probably the oldest pair of underwear you had.
Well, that was probably the usual.
Yeah, I mean, that underwear.
I didn't buy them much.
There was not much resistance when I.
And you're like, why? Why did they fall apart so easy? And I said, well, so I work in Crush Cave. You're like, huh? It's like, well, and then I go on and explain, well, I work in acid a lot, so I'm
Now, for anybody who's listening to this, Crush Conveys, you work in a mine.
Yeah, I'm a dirty miner, yes, sir.
So,
Well, we all are.
We all are.
Yeah.
But
You could be a miner too.
just freeportmacmoran.com
They're hiring.
right now. But yeah, man, I was thinking about that story at work the other day, thinking like, man, that was such a crazy because
That's not that crazy.
No, that trip was crazy because of everything that happened.
Oh, right.
Once the federal officials showed up,
Federal officials. They were not
No.
police officers
They were
of
federal-
the county.
Yeah,
no.
they were federal officials.
Yeah, they were actually feds.
Yeah, that was scary. And the fact that there was so much interaction with them. Like, it's not like they just passed through our campsite.
I was chumming up to it, man. I was like,
Well,
hey, they're pretty cool.
The rest of us weren't as fortunate.
Right, because y'all had open containers in the
Well,
back of a vehicle.
I mean, come on. How far away are we from the blacktop?
Right, we're off the road.
And we're doing...
This is pretty much a trail.
Now, there...
You can't have beer open on a trail, but
For-
you're in a vehicle.
For anybody who's listening, if you've ever wondered, it does not matter how far away you are from the blacktop. It doesn't matter. Literally in the middle of nowhere.
It doesn't matter if you're sitting on a bush
If you're...
in a vehicle.
Right.
Just sitting in there.
Right.
You got an open container.
Right, if you have an open container at all in the back of a truck, 2 hours away from this, county line, you can still get an open container. And we got, I don't.
Hold on a second. Hold on. I forgot to turn my phone off.
It's all right.
Probably just spam. Oh, it's a spam for sure. Go ahead.
Answer it.
I was going to. Hello?
But yeah, that whole camping trip, that kind of summarized. So, and then well, you know what I think set those federal officials off? I think it was Patrick thinking it was cute in his underwear and cowboy boots. He approached him multiple times, and one of them asked him, "Hey, get away from my truck." And Patrick won. Like Ty and Patrick, they have that ability to get under people's skin. And
Ty wasn't there, was he, at that one?
I don't.
Well, maybe. He might have been.
Dude, I just can't imagine him not being there. I get if you no.
I'll have to look.
No, because you know what? Anytime, if Zach's on an annual, Ty is not.
Ty wasn't there. Yeah.
And if Ty's on it's the yin and the yang, and it makes sense now looking back on all of it because Ty, like, could you imagine?
One of them would be dead.
Yeah, honestly, and we got away scot free because when we went to Las Vegas last year, Ty almost went on that. I mean, we would have.
Imagine.
No.
Oh, dude, we would have never made that flight.
No.
No.
Zach would end up just beating him to death.
We'd be there waiting to get Zach out of prison.
No. He would have. Really, who knows how far that would have gone? Honestly, I think about that. Like, God, what a dodge bullet, man. Just. But anyhow, so
good time.
So it was certainly a lot of fun. Vegas was like last year. Last year we went to Vegas and.
Vegas has been mentioned a lot.
Hey, you know what I was going to ask you though is like whenever we were in Vegas, do you feel like a connection, like your hometown, because you were born there? Like
when I go there, I feel like I have a special right.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Judging by your behavior in Vegas, I completely believe that now.
Right, like you know, you go there and people are like, "Yeah, I've been in Vegas 20 years." I'm like, I haven't, but I mean, it's in my blood. It's in my blood. I don't know why I feel this way, but it's, you know.
Now, have you ever done any time in Reno?
You know, in the 80s, like, especially early 80s, you know how many bodies disappeared?
Oh,
you know,
I can't
like,
imagine.
they just found.
Like me.
Yeah, you just saw that?
Yeah.
Found somebody in a barrel that's been there since, what, 79?
They said he was an 80-year-old man.
Yeah.
I mean,
at the time,
At the time, yeah.
Oh, that's sad.
So, unless I'm reading it.
He must have been a real gangster.
I said he must have been like on the
like a mob boss, like
retirement
on the
plan.
outs.
Yeah,
or a politician. Yeah.
So, and I think that when I drove to Vegas a few years ago, two of my friends got married. I'm not going to say their names because it's but two of my friends got married, and we drove out to Vegas. And as we're on the outskirts of Las Vegas, I'm looking out in the desert, and I'm thinking, how many bodies are really out? Now, what's the name of that community that me and Mary got lost in? Goldfield?
You went to Goldfield?
Yeah. And we were driving home from Reno.
From Reno, so you went through Tonopah, and then there's Goldfield on the way back. That used to be the state capital, actually.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was the very first state capital of Nevada. And
I had no idea.
And there's like there's not even a gas station
well,
there.
there's a post office and a grocery store. But the Google took me. We're driving down the blacktop on our U-Haul, and Google's like, hang right in 200 feet, and I'm like, to what? So I follow it mindlessly, throw my blinker, and I hang it right. And I'm driving away from the primary.
All right, you're like, oh, you could see, like, there might be civilization over there, but...
Well, I know for sure. So the artery between Vegas and Reno, we leave it.
Yeah.
And as I'm driving on this blacktop away from the primary road, I'm looking in my rearview mirror, looking at all this traffic, and I'm thinking, there's no way I'm making a right decision. But I follow...
But Google knows.
Google knows.
Yeah.
I mean, so sure enough, it took me to... the first thing, it was probably like I would say, a 30-minute drive before I seen any resemblance of a building at all.
Oh,
and it was the first thing that I had seen was a double wide trailer, and it had the old Roman Colosseums.
So it was a whorehouse.
Yeah, it's exactly the Roman pillars from the Colosseums.
Right.
Just plastered.
Oh yeah, I've passed that several times. I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's a whorehouse. I found out later. And so when I actually got to Goldfield, I was nervous. I don't get nervous about much because it was just who I am, and I'm very adventurous and I like to see things. But that was a time in my life where I felt like I had made the wrong choice because there was nothing. I found a guy that was missing all but two of his fingers, his pinky and his thumb, like the constant hang 10.
Right.
And he's pointing. I pull up and he's in overalls with no shirt on. Yeah.
I probably worked with the guy once.
I said, sir.
I think he worked with chainsaws.
I said, we're trying to get to Las Vegas. He said, oh, did Google send you, or this happens all the time? I said, yeah. He said, oh, you're going to take this dirt road. He points with his pinky. his only real, finger, and he's pointing down this dirt road, and he tells us before we leave, he says, "Yeah, you're gonna go down this dirt road. It'll link you right back up to whatever that primary road is." And he says, "But look out for the black goats." And he turned around and started working again.
Black goats?
Black goats.
I've never even heard of that.
But it was ominous as hell. So I follow the dirt road he's talking about. Now there's a part of me that thought I could just turn around and backtrack.
Right.
But I'm knee deep in this. So
I mean, it's hard to pull out when you're so far in.
Yeah, I've been told. So we're driving down this road, and we come across a huge building. I mean, there's no windows in it. It looked like a building that could have been built in San Francisco, just in the middle of the desert.
Pretty majestic.
Yeah.
Like old,
really
well built.
Yeah,
really well built.
Yeah, the architecture was amazing. But there was nothing. There wasn't even a parking lot to it. It was like somebody had zapped it from one place to another.
Right.
I'm driving by.
Just sitting in the fucking desert.
Yeah, I mean, in itself, it'll make you feel uncomfortable just seeing that. So I'm driving, and guess what I see inside that building?
Did you see a black goat?
A black goat. Jet black.
I've never even heard of a
yellow eyes.
I've lived in Nevada, throughout my childhood and young adulthood, and I've never even heard of any kind of black goat problem.
I don't know if it's a problem.
There's a lot of Mustangs that run free.
It was a black goat, and I seen it, and it was that. Now that I realized, like, this
that freaked you out.
Yeah, no, it something internally down, like in my genetics, was like, we're not supposed to be here, and you're not supposed to see that. So just keep going. And finally, I saw that. Oh, by the way,
wrong turn 3.
Yeah, no, it was a dirt road. So after Goldfield, it's just dirt road. So we're on a dirt road.
Yeah, you took it wrong.
Yeah,
turn.
and thankfully, we got back to the blacktop. And I felt so relieved that I was done.
Google tried to kill you.
In a way.
Probably sue him.
You know what? We're on to something. Case, hey, you know what? So, yeah, I don't know, man. I keep on forgetting how any of these stories even start or what we're talking about. But Goldfield. Oh, I was going to ask, have you ever spent any time in Reno?
Just a little bit.
Have you been to Tahoe?
One place I haven't been.
Really?
Well, one of the places I haven't been. That's the one place. Everywhere else, been. No, it's one of the places I haven't been. My uncle actually got married there, but it was close to my prison sentence time, so I missed out. I heard it was a blast.
I can only imagine. Attending a wedding at...
Right. It was a little ritzy. Like, he went into debt pretty good for that, but...
Well, and you missed out, man. You're in prison. Or you're getting ready to go to prison.
Something of the sort. I couldn't make it.
Wow, it's too bad.
What you say? He's my uncle. I loved him. I wanted to be there, but
Yeah, not to mention.
Sometimes you can't have what you want.
Let that be a lesson to you kids.
Yeah, you kids need to wise up.
If you take anything from this podcast, you're not always going to get what you want if you're a drug mule.
For sure. Especially if you're a drug mule. Unless you're a good drug mule. Well, no, don't listen to me, kids. No. I hope kids aren't listening to this podcast at all, actually.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to listen to this. All I know is that
I don't think I'll even listen.
I probably won't listen to this either. But now we keep on. So I just looked at the time on the camera, and we're an hour into this.
Oh God!
And
we haven't. Yeah.
All I wanted to do was tell this fucking story about this bar fight, and here we are still
rambling
about
nothing.
Tonopah.
Yeah, Nevada. Fuck Nevada.
No, man, Nevada's a great place. I love Nevada. And anybody who's listening to this from Nevada, he didn't mean that. He's born in a bathtub there. He loves it.
I love bathtubs.
Just not Nevada.
Just not Nevada.
So did we talk about the bar fight? My only concern about telling the bar fight story is we don't know who the fuck that guy was. We don't even know if he lived.
I don't think he's alive. I mean, you think about it.
Well, let's tell the story, and then we can get.
Maybe we could get some comments on, if he's alive or not.
I mean,
or if they think, yeah, there's no fucking way.
well, I mean, sometimes I lean to the fact there's no way that somebody could survive that. I mean, there's just no way. I
don't know how he's walking.
She's certainly not living the life he was the night before.
If he's alive, he ain't happy.
He's not. I can't imagine him being. Like I said, there's no way he's living a normal life. Anyhow, so the story goes. What year was that? 2008, 9.
It had to be 2008. It was right around the layoffs over here.
Yeah,
because
there's a lot
great recession across.
I remember there
America.
was a lot of like,
So I had a job, so I actually had money.
There
We were
was-
the only ones at the bar.
well, there's a lot of riffraff at that time in this county.
Right. A lot of